The New York Giants were just gifted the perfect opportunity. Let's talk about it. My name is Paul. This is Big Apple Sports. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you very much. Please just take a quick second, like and subscribe. My goal is to hit 250 likes for this video, so help me out. Hit that like button. Anyways, it's off-season time. This is the time of year where we as Giants fans can actually enjoy ourselves. You know, we don't have to lose every week. We have, new reasons every day to feel positive. And, all joking aside, I really do think that if the right coach comes in, this Giants team could be a playoff team next year. I'll talk about that a little bit. But the goal of today is for me to convince you that the Giants are set up to absolutely smash this offseason. And a couple things happened today that kind of surprised me, that kind of set the stage here for the Giants to really capitalize on the coaching market. So first thing that happened that surprised me was I couldn't believe the Bengals did not fire Zach Taylor. Like, they have a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. I know he missed a good chunk of this season, but it's like that. Like, when's the last time they even made the playoffs? His defense is an abomination. It's like, if you have a quarterback as talented as Joe Burrow, like, you have to do better than he's doing. They've been underachieving every year, and I can't believe he kept his job. And that's huge for the Giants because, honestly, I think that's the only job that you could argue is better than the Giants' job. Bleacher Report today ranked the head coaching opportunities. They have Cardinals 6, Browns 5, Titans 4, Falcons 3, Raiders 2, and really the Raiders are only 2 because you probably get to hand select your quarterback. And then number 1, they have the New York Giants. And I know some people are really down on the Giants and their talent, and I totally get it. But like, this is it. Like, when you look at the most important positions in football, it's your quarterback. Can you protect your quarterback? Can you get after the other team's quarterback? And does your quarterback have somebody to get the ball to? And the Giants check all those boxes with an incredibly talented young player. Like, there's going to be a line of coaches wanting to coach Jackson Dart. They have Andrew Thomas, who did a good job staying healthy this season, did miss a couple games at the end, but who knows, he might have been able to play those. But he's a star left tackle. They have Brian Burns and Abdul Carter and Kayvon Thibodeau to get after the other team's quarterback. And then obviously they have Malik Neighbors, Scadaboo, huge year from Wandale. Like, everything you would want to build the core of your team around, the Giants have. This is the number one job. The only job that you could argue would be better is if the Bengals were here and somebody had the opportunity to potentially coach a quarterback that we know is Super Bowl caliber, and that we know could be a future Hall of Famer if he can stay healthy. So the Giants are officially the best job on the market, and it gets even better than that. Another thing I couldn't believe is that the Browns fired Kevin Stefanski, and some of these other guys that were fired today too, could end up being fantastic coordinators. So here is a full list of the coaches that have been fired this year. Of course, Callahan and Dable were fired a long time ago, and then these 4 were fired today, Black Monday. And I just looking at these 4, I would be thrilled if the Giants chose not any one of them to be their head coach, but I would be thrilled with Stefanski as our new head coach, or I would be thrilled with, if you're going for a offensive coordinator who's never been a head coach, getting a defensive-minded guy like a Raheem Morris, a Pete Carroll, a Jonathan Gannon, who not only was an elite defensive coordinator, but also has that head coaching experience to kind of mentor a first-time head coach. To me, that is perfect. And like Kevin Stefanski, I get it. His last 2 years, terrible win-loss record. And, at the end of the day, this is a league where you are judged on your wins and losses. But the guy has been a great offensive coach. And let's face it, he's been on the Cleveland Browns, the most dysfunctional organization in the NFL. I know some of you Giants fans who are down and out right now think it's the Giants. It's not. It's the Browns. Maybe the Jets could throw their hat in the ring there. But, like, looking back at his tenure at the Browns, he had Baker Mayfield playing like a future star. Like I forget what year this was for Baker, but 26 touchdowns to 8 picks, 3,600 yards. This team went to the playoffs and hung like 40 on the Steelers. Got a win, if you remember that. And then the next season they come out and Baker regresses a little bit. Throws for 3,000 yards, turned it over a little bit. But look at his receivers that year. He had Donovan Peoples-Jones as his number one receiver. And, I'm a big Michigan fan, so I'm not going to sit here and dump on a Michigan man like Donovan Peoples-Jones. But at the end of the day, like this guy, when he left the Browns, struggled to stay on another team's practice squad. Jarvis Landry had clearly fallen off that year and missed some time. And then after that, it was tight ends. It was Rashard Higgins. It was the corpse of Odell Beckham. Like Baker did not have anybody to throw it to that year. And so, of course, you're going to see a little bit of regression. But any competent team would be like, look, we've seen this guy ball out. Like you see, like Trevor Lawrence has had some tough years, but they were able to bring in the right pieces, and now he's playing at a great level going to the playoffs. And instead of the Browns doing that, they decided, hey, let's trade an arm and a leg and give a massive contract to a guy who has 30 people accusing him of assault and hasn't played football in 2 years. And, like, how are you going to win when you are a coach put in this situation? Deshaun Watson didn't even play very much that year. He was stuck with Jacoby Brissett as his quarterback. And then 2023, he makes the playoffs again with a combination of Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson, P.J. Walker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and even a little bit of Jeff Driscoll. Like, this group of quarterbacks with Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt and Amari Cooper and a bunch of nobodies at receiver. I got David Njoku solid. But, like, this group made the playoffs. If he can lead this group of people to the playoffs, what could he do with the talent that's on the Giants? I am absolutely team Kevin Stefanski. You look at his work with the Vikings, like, he is a great offensive mind. And I think the Giants here have an opportunity to pair like a Kevin Stefanski, who's a great offensive mind, with a great defensive mind. Like Jonathan Gannon, Raheem Morris, yeah, they didn't pan out as head coaches, but guess what? They were absolutely elite defensive coordinators. That's why they got their job. Like looking at, I got the 2020 defensive statistics here. This is the year before Jonathan Gannon took over the Eagles. This Eagles defense was like bottom half of the league. He takes over in 2021. Instantly, they're borderline top 10. And then in 2022, this is the number 2 defense in the NFL. They go to the Super Bowl, and then he takes the Arizona head coaching job. And it wasn't like he left and it was smooth sailing because it was all the players. He leaves, and the next year, this is back to being a defense in the bottom 10 in the NFL. So, like, he did an incredible job, and then they ended up last year bringing in Vic Fangio, who's maybe the best defensive coordinator in the NFL, and he was able to get it back up to Jonathan Gannon's level. So, no matter what the Giants do, I would love to see them pair either, like, best case scenario to me right now is Kevin Stefanski with either Jonathan Gannon or Raheem Morris. I'm not going to pull up his whole stats, but he was the Rams defensive coordinator when they had Aaron Donald and won the Super Bowl. He has an incredible resume as a defensive coordinator, has been a head coach for quite a while, and honestly had some decent years in there, but I don't think he's going to get another head coaching job right now. But to me, option A is you get Kevin Stefanski, pair him with a Gannon, pair him with a Raheem Morris, maybe even a Pete Carroll, a great defensive mind. And then option B is if you can't get a Stefanski, I love the idea of pairing, like to me, Clint Kubiak has done one of the best jobs in the NFL, but it's scary to take that leap and have a guy who's an elite coordinator and give him that job as a head coach. Because like Gannon, like Stefanski, like Raheem Morris, all of these guys were elite coordinators, and like Gannon and Morris really didn't cut it as a head coach. Not everybody's cut out to be a head coach. But if you can give a shot to like a Clint Kubiak and then pair him with a defensive coordinator where he's like, I don't even need to worry about the defense. I'm going to worry about my offense and worry about building a team culture, and let a guy who has a proven track record at D coordinator and who has been a head coach and can kind of like mentor me and help me. Like, to me, that would be a huge win for the Giants as well. So I know Black Monday is always a dark day in the NFL. You know, condolences to all the people who lost their jobs today. But I really think the Giants, who have the best open job on the market, have an incredible opportunity here to get Kevin Stefanski, a guy who took the worst organization maybe in all of sports to the playoffs 2 different times. And I think he could have had a lot more success if they had stuck with Baker instead of trading all of his first-round picks for Deshaun Watson mid-scandal, mid-suspension. That was a boneheaded decision. That was really not on Kevin Stefanski. So I think he's the perfect guy to get another chance in New York. You guys, let me know your thoughts on all of that. Let me know who your leading candidate to be head coach is, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I want to hear that from all of you. And then don't forget, please just like and subscribe on your way out.